Well, hello. Anyway, a housekeeping notice to begin. This is day 11. I left Kansas City and got back on the bike, and I'm tired. But a housekeeping item. Some of my flat earth friends have asked for a little less political commentary in the rant. So I guess they have a point. This is supposed to be a bit more travelogue than it is liberal polemic. But I do have to say that regardless of whether climate change is a proven science or not proven science or any of the other factual disparities that we might have, I think that our generation is certainly the first to leave the planet in a much poorer condition with much less prospects than we got it. So that being said, I'm concerned about what kind of future we're handing over to our grandchildren, but I will focus a little bit more on the travelogue. So I left Kansas City, took all back roads today, 100% back roads. It was great. I took an old Highway 24 out of Kansas City on the way to a little town, Egansville, that I used to live in when I was a boy. My dad was superintendent of schools there, and in fact was in charge of closing the last black school in that district as a result of the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision in '54. I made a nodding acquaintance to the Truman Library as I went through Independence, Missouri, and I have to say that corn is certainly as high as an elephant's eye, and perhaps a little bit higher, which contrasts greatly with the last time I was through here, which was 3 or 4 years ago, coming back from Toronto, when the drought had just blighted everything. And now the fields are lush, the corn is quite high, quite healthy, and I think they're going to have a bumper crop. I included a few pictures of Higginsville just as kind of a curiosity. I think there's a picture of my old elementary school, which is all closed now and shuttered up, but where I attended kindergarten and first grade. It's 3 doors down from the house that I lived in. There's also a picture of the little stone house that my parents moved to when they first moved to Egansville. It looks like it's about 600 square feet, but it may not be quite that big, I don't know. Anyway, then I headed down to towards West Plains and a little town called Peace Valley, which is where my mother grew up. And I didn't quite make it. I took some real twisty-turny roads back through the Lake of the Ozark country and got into the hill country in the Ozarks, and had great scenery and a very wonderful ride, and I was very fortunate on the weather. It threatened rain all day long, but remained just cloudy and yet dry, so the temperature was down, and it was really quite a pleasant ride. I only made it to Mountain Grove, which was only maybe 40 or 50 miles from West Plains, which is the only town of any size around Peace Valley. I was just really tired and I didn't want to go any farther. I almost pushed on to the next town, which is Kabul, just because it's such a cool name. But I wasn't sure what was there, so there was a nice looking hotel in Mountain Grove, so I decided to stay there. Anyway, I had a great day, great ride, really enjoying being back on the bike, and looking forward to looking at some of the places where my mother grew up tomorrow.